To our white coat ceremony, which for those of you who are not familiar with it, it marks the transition of our students completing the first leg of their journey here on the island and getting ready to head off into the clinics. So that's where the symbolic white coat comes in, because they're going to use it. It shouldn't be symbolic anyway. They're going to use it in the next few weeks or months or so as they pursue their dream or continue to pursue their dream. It has been a great pleasure to have their company, some more than others, over the last few semesters, but it really has been an awesome group. And you know, as the faculty often talk about it, it's always a great pleasure to see these students mature and grow over the semesters that they are here with us. And it's always amazing, it never fails. For every single student, they change over the time they're here. And for the majority of them, it is really a positive, really positive change. And we feel proud, and it's really heartening that we'll get to see them at least one more time when they complete and they go to our commencement ceremony, and we will then see where they have been over that period of a year. But I must first of all congratulate you, because without you they wouldn't be here, so let's give yourselves a round of applause. Again, I think sometimes parents, parents, friends, and families, because they tend to be removed from the locale, they don't realize just how important their support is for their loved ones. You know, just today, Dr. Shields and I were talking about it, and the academic pursuit is one thing, but without the support of friends and family, we're not talking about financial support. We're talking about that listening ear, that shoulder when it's needed, you know, that encouragement, above all else, that encouragement. It really means a lot for the students from yourselves. So please, those of you who may have other loved ones coming through or loved ones still here, please, you know, make that effort to always check in on them, reach out to them, comfort them, support them, encourage them, you know, celebrate with them when it's a victory, commiserate with them when, you know, they're going through some difficult times, but it really does make a difference. So please, you know, always bear that in mind. I have the great pleasure as we go along to introduce Dr. Blythe, Dr. Elaine Blythe, who is really one of the bedrock foundation members of the school. She's been with us for over 10 years. So we have great pleasure, and this class really wanted her to be the speaker, and we have great pleasure of introducing her. So Dr. Blythe received her bachelor's in pharmacy in 1992 and her doctorate in pharmacy from Creighton University in 2003. She has taught pharmacology at SMU for over 10 years, and Dr. Blythe has consulted for the Nebraska Humane Society, small animal referral practices. She has contributed to Plum's Veterinary Manual, so for the veterinarians, you will know that book. She's also served as a member of the Federal Veterinary Disaster Response Team, and you guys have spoken about that as well. Elaine lives in New Mexico with her family, 2 cats, 3 horses, and 1 dog. So without further ado, I welcome up Dr. Blythe. Can we give her a round of applause?
Thank you, Dr. Lee. So it's a pleasure to be here today. Thank you so much for the invitation to come down. It means a lot. I know this is a special day, and you guys are a special group. So I want to just, spend a few minutes just kind of discussing, my impression that these students have left on me. We're going to dredge up some things from our classroom days, and so we'll go for it. Some of this I'm going to read because I'm going to be quoting you directly at times, but thank you for the opportunity. I'm thrilled to be here. So I'm Elaine Blythe. I am a pharmacist, as Dr. Lee said, and I have the awesome job of teaching pharmacology to these students as well as to many others sprinkled within the audience. And I do it all from my home in New Mexico via distance education. So distance education is kind of a generic, all-inclusive term that's used to refer to the physical separation of teachers and learners. So according to Google Maps, this group of students and I are separated by 1,700 miles every single day. But we make it work, and I think we make it work well. So those of you in the audience are probably sitting there thinking, does she teach class in her pajamas? And the answer to that is yes. Frequently, yes, I do teach in my pajamas, because they only see me from here up. So as you sit here today and you think about the future, you're probably thinking about perhaps a new apartment, some new friends, some new learning experiences that you're going to have in the veterinary teaching hospitals. I'm proud of each one of you, and I smile when I think about as you progressing through the curriculum on your way to becoming a veterinarian. I'm proud of you. I'm not your mom. I've told you that before. I'm somebody's mother, but I'm not your mother, right? You've heard that, but I'm still very proud of you. So if you're sitting there kind of nervous, let's just kind of review a few things from pharmacology. So number one, the Amduca police are not going to come and arrest you if you decide to use human generic furosemide instead of the veterinary generic for furosemide. Number two, thoughtful use of one stash of digoxin has merit as a method to avoid paying thousands of dollars in divorce attorney fees. Remember that. Number three, nothing's going to make you urinate down your left leg faster than the DEA knocking on your door. Number four, propofol will always be known as MJ juice. Okay? And number five, if you do not remember the mechanism of action for benzodiazepines, I said I'm going to come down here and beat you with the wet noodle, and I meant it. Okay? So hopefully you're all kind of, that's drudging up, right? But seriously, so each of you has demonstrated exceptional flexibility and adaptability as you have moved through this curriculum on your journey to becoming a veterinarian. I am an absolute big believer in the underpinnings of emotional intelligence, and the two most valuable emotionally intelligent skills that a person can possess are flexibility and adaptability. Flexibility and adaptability, all right? So you were flexible when we experienced technology challenges in the room, and we all quickly adapted to the use of Skype as a teaching tool. So not only did you acquire a pharmacology knowledge base as a veterinarian that you need, but you also acquired two very important emotional intelligence skill sets, flexibility and adaptability. So don't ever forget that. So if you possess flexibility and adaptability, I'm here to tell you, you can apply that to any job, any career path, and it will get you towards satisfying occupational success, all right? So flexibility and adaptability, remember that. Quickly in education, so there's an acronym called ASK, A-S-K, stands for attitudes and skills and knowledge. And so it's the tripod upon which all learning is based, whether it be distance-based or whether it be face-to-face, attitude, knowledge, and skills. So the required pharmacology textbook, whether you purchased the whole 20-pound book or you referenced it online, it doesn't matter. It conveyed knowledge to you in the form of drugs facts, right, and mechanisms of actions, and clinical indications and contraindications, right? So it's going to eventually be outdated, that big book, and you're probably going to move on to, say, Plum's Veterinary Drugs or another veterinary drug handbook reference, and that's okay. That's absolutely okay. It's part of lifelong learning. However, the main facts of pharmacology will not change, so remember the following. The function of the autonomic nervous system is not going to change. Alpha and beta receptors are not going anywhere, all right? And you can choose to fight or flight on your first day of clinics, okay? Absolutely. The MOA of opioids, the mechanism of action of opioids, right? They are not going to change, and if you carelessly use carfentanil or etorphine, it will kill you deader than a doornail, if you remember that. So take your foundational knowledge base and integrate it in your foundational knowledge base, integrate what you have learned in a clinical setting, and you will develop your clinical skill set. So now's the time to pull it all together. Pull it all together. So now let's talk about attitudes, right? I'm a big believer in attitudes. I hope pharmacology has had a positive influence on your learning within this program and within the curriculum, and that you are seeing the integration of your drug knowledge base with other courses. I will say one last time, never forget to keep accurate controlled substance records, okay? Nothing will break my heart faster than a student who does not keep accurate controlled substance records. We've talked about that. And I tell my students all the time, you can call me Elaine or you can call me Dr. Blythe, but just do not call me if you're in jail because you did not keep accurate controlled substance records. Because we talked about that, okay? So in the context of attitudes, let's talk about, this is going to be kind of fun now, right? So remember those discussion board postings that I made you do at mid-semester and end of semester? So I kept those, yeah. I keep them for everybody, for all the other students in the audience, I keep those. So let's reflect on those for a moment here. So Matt, who repeatedly declared himself my favorite student. Okay. Matt posted to the, yeah, this turn. Matt, okay, right here, bud, right here. So Matt posted to the course discussion board, quote, "We are educated drug dealers. When I worked as a vet tech, it was rare that we did not prescribe a medication to an animal. I am finally in a position in my schooling where I feel like I am being trusted with important information that gives me knowledge and power. Matt, I am privileged to have contributed to your education and development as a professional. I always enjoyed our little mini discussions about cattle disease states and cattle drugs and classic vehicles. Always enjoyed those. I know you're going to do well in clinics, and I promise not to tell anybody that you give your child Benadryl in order to sedate them, so you don't have to. I promise, zip, like that. Don't tell anybody that. Okay. David, also known as Mr. Math. So I have been here for 10 years, as Dr. Lee said, and I'm here to tell you, David is the only student so far who could make me, a licensed pharmacist of almost 30 years, doubt my own answers to drug dosing calculation problems. His mind functions like a little mini calculator. So well done, my friend, well done. Now, I still need to get you a Texas Tech Red Raiders notebook, so you can get rid of that Texas A&M one, all right? So if David hadn't sported that Texas A&M notebook, okay, to class, you could have been my favorite student. But no, madness. Just saying. All right, so since I'm not on island, I do not pass students in the hallways, I don't see them in the grocery stores on the weekends, right? However, about a year ago, I was like trucking through the lobby of a hotel in Orlando, Florida, and who do I see but Miss Amber, right? So she was on her computer. I'm sure she was looking at wedding dresses. I'm sure she was not studying pharmacology. But I hollered at her, and we hugged, and we took a selfie, right? So Amber's response to the discussion board was, "High-level learning can be stressful, but a great professor can certainly make a world of difference." So Amber, that day will come where you will be in a position of teaching others. You might be teaching an intern, you might be teaching a veterinary technician, you might be teaching a new associate veterinarian about the MOA of a drug or how to calculate an IV infusion rate. Okay, there's going to come a time when you're going to be the teacher. So remember that. Congratulations on the engagement, and I look forward to seeing pictures on Facebook, wedding pics, okay? So for 2 semesters, I teach pharmacology 1 and 2, they're consecutive. 2 semesters, 15 weeks each, so 30 weeks total. So for 30 collective weeks, meeting twice a week, Andrew loved the distance education format of pharmacology. Apparently he told a classmate, and I quote, "Thank goodness pharm is taught online. That way Dr. Blythe can't lock the classroom door on me for being late." So when Andrew emailed me and asked if I would be here today for your white coat ceremony, he said, basically you need to say something funny about each of us and tell everybody how awesome I am. So Andrew, you are awesome, okay? Well, I really think Andrew's probably sitting over there thinking to himself, thank you to booze, e-cigarettes, Google, and Wikipedia for making this moment possible. All right, Selena. Selena posted to the discussion board, "Your exuberance and wealth of knowledge kept me interested in this course. I especially appreciate that you made yourself available via Skype or by email every time I had a question, even if it was late at night. So Selena, as one mother to another, I salute you, okay? You have sacrificed in order to fulfill your goal of becoming a veterinarian. The absolute least I could do was to support you being there when you needed assistance or when you needed clarification, even if it was late at night. So as a side note, if I'm ever in your part of the world, I would love to go feral hog hunting with you, all right? So just to be transparent, I have never shot a gun before. I hope that's not a problem. But I mainly just want to like ride in a helicopter and shoot at things, and I think you're the woman to do that with. Okay? Jonathan. So Jonathan is what we call a lurker in distance education, okay? And I mean that in the most positive sense of the word. So lurkers in distance education, they're people who are kind of quiet and they read the materials and they post to the discussion board, but they do not smoke as many e-cigarettes as Andrew. So Jonathan posted on the discussion board, the connections between this course and my future role as a veterinarian is having a definitive core knowledge of the drugs I will be using in practice and knowing exactly their mechanism of action and knowing the procedures and precautions of using certain types of drugs. So excellent response, Jonathan. It's just like you to sit quietly over there and then like, boom, drop a bunch of truth on us, okay? So, you did. So, I'm not gonna make any funnies or any wisecracks about Amity or at her expense, okay? Because she's physically fit enough to like kick my rear. So I'm not gonna pick on her at all. But Amity's response to one of the discussion board questions of what's the connection between this course and your role as a veterinarian, she answered, as I see patients, I will need to understand the reason I am reaching for a certain drug. I will need to know how that drug is working. If I do not understand the basics of pharmacology, I will not be able to adequately treat my patients. So Amity, you have a vision for patient safety, and that is outstanding. If I'm ever in Norman, Oklahoma area, okay, I'm gonna look you up, and perhaps you can pull yourself away from the gym long enough to buy me lunch, okay?
Okay.
And would it be too much to ask of you to just reach over there and punch David in the arm, just because? Okay. Okay. So here's Sam's response to the discussion board. There's a great connection between pharmacology and my role as a veterinarian because it definitely helps me understand the mechanism of action, how to administer the drugs properly, and what effect, either good or bad, will be taking place in the patient. This is especially important to me in the future because most of my patients will be marine and wildlife, where there's not as many drug studies in small animals. I will probably be pioneering a lot of things as a conservation veterinarian in the future. So great response, Sam. So here's something for you to think about pioneering. I would like to go scuba diving and learn about diseases in marine mammals and fish, but I do not know how to swim, okay? I'm not kidding, do not know how to swim. So 7 or 8 years ago I came to the island and I went snorkeling and I swear to you I almost drowned, I really did. So I don't swim, but that's gonna be your problem since I'm going with you. Okay, so I'm thinking you could quickly become famous for rescuing a desert-born, non-swimming veterinary pharmacist from certain death. Okay. So, by the way, I'm not sure if you're aware of it, but Andrew said you're buying a round of drinks for everybody tonight at dinner. That's what Andrew said. Okay. So, Jack. Each semester, I rely upon a student to come into the classroom and kind of get the computer up and running and make sure the technology is working. And so we can connect, and then from there, we're off and running talking about drugs. And so Jack was kind of my IT helper for several semesters there. So he'd fetch the webcam and make sure the speakers and mics were plugged in. And if we had an issue, he'd kind of trot upstairs and go get someone from IT. So for serving in that role, Jack, I say thank you, and I will buy you a drink tonight if you're a drinker, right? If you're not a drinker, I will give you a very non-threatening, politically correct, minimal touch hug, okay? So, Jack was actually, he was pretty good with drug dosing calculations, and more important, you were quick to assist others who maybe were struggling a little bit with that pesky metric system, particularly Matt. But Jack was actually a man of few words when he posted to the discussion board, and dude, you just didn't give me a lot to work with. So, on a serious note, each of you recall our discussions regarding behavior management drugs, right? So all of the antidepressants, anti-anxiety medications that we use in dogs and cats, the large majority of them come from the human side. So I believe I shared with many of you that I do have an immediate family member who has suffered from depression and anxiety for years. So I understand the struggles of mental health, the dysfunction that results in the difficulty in finding effective treatment. So we are all aware of the challenges that veterinarians face when balancing your personal life, your professional obligations, and your mental health. So to you I say, in all seriousness, never be afraid to ask for help, and not one more vet. Okay. So in closing, I wish for each of you to go on and practice your dream. I hope that you take great pride in your profession. I hope you have many aha moments when you're on clinics, right? Where something regarding your didactic education has become crystal clear to you. I hope you have many of those. And your families are extremely proud of you. I'm proud of you. You can't imagine the sense of relief that they are experiencing, so this would be a most opportune time to ask for money. So, as my gift to each of you, I want to provide you with a 1-year student subscription to Plum's Veterinary Drugs. You can access it on your phone, on your tablet, on a laptop computer. So watch your inbox for directions for your 1-year free subscription, okay? And every time you use it, you think about me, all right? Okay, thank you.
I think it's quite obvious why Dr. Blythe is a perennial favorite with students. And Dr. Blythe has had her own life challenges, but yet still she always gives her utmost to the students. And I think, again, the honor that the students felt by having you come down, is reflective of that feeling. So I'd just like everyone, once again, to give Dr. Blythe a big round of applause. Okay, let's move on. I'm going to invite up Dr. Charles Dickinson, who is the chair of the Clinical Science Department, and Dr. Lawrence Acker, who is our physiologist, to both quote as well as pin the students as we call them up to the transition to our white coats. Okay. All right, so first we have Amity Curry, who is going to Mississippi State University. Okay, now we have Samantha Davis, who is going to Oklahoma State University. Now we have David D.J. Garrity, who's going to University of Illinois.
Working? Serious job, much. All right.
She's in a hurry. We have Selena Morales Lewis, going to Oklahoma State University. Matthew Locke, going to Washington State University. Jack Enjik going to University of Minnesota. Veterinary practice. Andrew Pellegrini, Mississippi State University. Andrew is here. Stood up. Jonathan Rivera Peola, Oklahoma State University.
I wasn't much help. Jonathan, come this way.
And last but not least, Amber Roman. I'll invite up our photographer to take a picture of the group. It's hard to get good help. No, that's Melissa. Pressing the wrong button. There you go. Okay, thank you very much. We'll be plenty of time for more photos after. Jack and Andrew, late as always. Okay, as we progress with the ceremony, I will invite up Marina Soliman, who is our president of the Student Association, SAVMA.
Thank you, Dr. Lee. Okay, I was told not to say this joke, but like so many of us do before a test, I'm just gonna wing it, and hopefully it's good. Okay, like Dr. Lee said, my name is Marina Solomon. I am the president here of SAVMA, which is our student body government here at St. Matthew's. And I'm just going to acknowledge the students who have participated in SAVMA and who have volunteered their time to act as class representative within the past 2.5 years here. So first up, we have Amity Tivis, who was the vice president of SAVMA. What?
Oh, a picture.
You want to take a picture? Next, we have Samantha Davis, who was our International Veterinary Students Association representative. It's really not about me, though. I feel like I shouldn't be in this picture. But I'll take it. I'll take it. It's fine. Okay. Next, again, we're going to award the people who have attended SAVMA bi-weekly meetings, which I know a lot of us do not like to attend, not even me, but who have given their time to give us ideas of how we can make this a more fun and more kind of comfortable environment for everybody who's away from home. So first up is Andrew Pellegrini. Next is Matthew Luke. Why am I holding it? Next is DJ David Garrity. Okay, I'm gonna give it a go like Dr. Lee, ready? Jack Sutton. How do you say it? NG. Okay, Jack NG. Okay, as you can tell, this is a really great class because pretty much everyone has volunteered to be class representative. So next up is Amber Roman. And last but not least, not only was she vice president of SAVMA, but she was also class representative, Amity Tivis. Okay, not to make you stand up one more time, but the whole class, the whole student body has kind of given you guys a little bit of encouragement and notes before you go to clinic, so I'm going to ask Sam Moore to help me go ahead and give this to you. So, to Amity. Who's next? Okay, Sam, David, Selena. You guys have all helped us, and we're going to miss you a whole lot. If you haven't noticed already. That's how we get by here at SMU. So before I leave, I just want to say, out of all of the classes, since I'm just one semester behind, you guys are definitely the people I'm going to miss so much. I've had great encounters with all of you. A lot of you have befriended me my first time here, first semester, coming from California, not used to the mosquitoes or the heat, as many of you are, noticing today. It's really hot here, and it was tough to be away from home, but you guys have all befriended me, and I'm going to miss you a ton, and I wish you the well in clinics.
Okay, I'd just like to echo Marina's words. This is a class that, by and large, was very, very helpful throughout the time here. I could always call on David to help out with our incoming student seminars. Amity and Selena both worked as animal care TAs for much of the time they were here. Sam, as well as I think Matthew and Jack helped, as well as Amber, I think as well, helped Dr. Shields with Marvet, I'm going to forget. And of course, Andrew and Jack and Jonathan, they always were challenges in the classroom because they just always had something to say. Not always at the right time, but they always had something to say. So that was good though. So they really were part of the fabric. I hope one of the things that you, the family, are getting, it's quite a leap of faith when you send your family members far away from you to a different country, off the mainland completely. A small school, but it's a large family. And you find that over a period of time, as Marina pointed out, they come in, sort of doe-eyed in the first semester, but they gradually blossom into performing members of the family, and they'll forever be members of the SMU family. So once again, I'll give you a round of applause. I would now like to welcome up Megan Charjian. I'll get it right one of these days. who is our VBMA, the Veterinary Business Management Association's president. And she'll explain the awards she's going to give out.
Hello. So VBMA is the Veterinary Business Management Association, and it's for aspiring practice owners. It is a nationally recognized association, and as members we attend talks and seminars that focus on different aspects of owning and running a veterinary practice. After attending 16 hours of these lectures, you are awarded a business certificate, and that basically represents the accomplishment of being in VBMA and finishing up your certificate. So today, we are giving some students a pin to represent their membership in VBMA here at St. Matthew's University. So we'll start by naming these students. Amity Curry, congratulations. Congratulations, Samantha Davis. Congratulations, Amber Roman. Congratulations, Jonathan Rivera Pirola. Congratulations, Selena Lewis. And last but not least, congratulations, David Garrity.
The 7 semesters they have been here. And then the second is the Dean's Award, which is given in memoriam of Dr. Bill Wagner, or William Wagner, who was one of the early deans of the school, very instrumental in developing the school. And unfortunately, he passed away a few years ago. So in his memory, we do give that award. So first, you can find them. There we go. All right, so the valedictorian award, which is given and awarded to Jack NG. And then the Dean's Award, and sorry I didn't give a sort of a synopsis of the Dean's Award. The Dean's Award is sort of the true spirit of St. Matthew's University. So we look for someone who performs well academically, but also has been involved in not only the St. Matthew's community, but also the wider community. Because one of the things is that the school is a significant contributor to the local fabric of the community. Okay, so without a doubt, I now have the opportunity to welcome up David DJ Garrity as the class speaker.
people to my right and myself, it's hard not to see the incredible mixture of people that this summer of 2019 class has become. Not only are we diverse people from various parts of the U.S., world, cultures, religions, ages, and backgrounds, we've also come together as a class of redemption and diversity. Many of the people you see here have had to overcome great diversity, hardships, rejections, failure, just to get to this point. Although our class has stumbled and even lost a few classmates as a result of these hardships, we have also been fortunate enough to adopt new members into our class who eventually helped to make us the strong group you now see here. Unfortunately, due to this musical game of students we played, when writing this speech, I kind of found myself struggling in a way that can only be expressed in the quote from Bilbo Baggins. I don't know half of you as well as I should, and I like less than half of you as much as well as you deserve. I really feel like this truly sums up my relationship with many of you, as I feel like I didn't really get a chance to experience what spending every day with you for 2.5 years would be like. But let's be honest, we're all done and have had a serious case of senioritis all semester, and I don't think any of us here will be signing up to spend another semester together. In my struggles to find the words I wanted to express about each of you, I found myself looking into some of the things that set me apart as an individual for guidance. As most of you know, I tend to be a little excessive, sometimes over the top, and I tend to wear my heart on my sleeves. Usually this is most exemplified through my love of music and taking time out of our busy schedules to sing at karaoke nights. That's when it hit me. The best way for me to describe all of y'all properly is through music. After lots of thought, I have assigned each of you a song that I feel best exemplifies you or holds a special memory of you in my heart, and have prepared something to explain my choice. And no, I promise I'm not going to sing anything. But I do have something else in store. So, Amity Curry. Amity, as the only one old enough among us to have any real memories from the 80s, I wanted to find something powerful from that era, especially since the women of pop and rock and roll absolutely crushed the charts during that time. I could think of no truer reflection of you than Donna Summer's 1983 chart topper, She Works Hard for the Money. Inspired by the hard-working restaurant attendant Summers met named Monetta, I can think of no one else that embodies this kind of hard work and dedication to scrape by and make her dreams come true. For those of you who don't know, Amity is dual enrolled in Davenport's Masters of Business program, just so she can receive financial aid for vet school. She gives up half her Saturday mornings to help manage our animal care rotations. She's a student ambassador that helps give incoming students tours of the school. In her time here, she's probably put more time working as a student librarian than anybody in recent memory. She's diligent in her studies, and oh yeah, she still finds time to go to work out at the gym and participate in local 5Ks, all so that she can stay in shape so she can go back home and do a few modeling gigs that she gets. Seriously, girl, when do you sleep? Seriously though, just like Odetta, you've sacrificed, worked day and day for little money, just tips and pay, but it's worth it all to hear them, our future clients, say that they care and thank us for all that we do. Samantha Davis. Sam, this one was honestly a no-brainer. In their effort to shatter their old ways of making their princesses hopeless damsels in distress, Disney could not have created a better princess/ruler that exemplifies you, and her powerful solo song explains who you are down to your soul. You are none other than Moana, and her song, How Far I'll Go. As someone who was born and raised in Malaysia, you take great pride in representing the culture and people of your home island, and aspire to one day move back there and help your people become strong. Moana, too, stemming from her role as a future chief, feels strong connection to her island's people and wants to contribute to her people's strength. But, just like in her first lines, you've been staring at the water long as you can remember, never really knowing why. You always come back to the water, no matter how hard you try. Seriously, someone check Sam for some gills? Because she is always diving, snorkeling, and has a strong passion for marine medicine, which is a rarity amongst the already small field that is veterinary medicine. Look at Sam. It's as if the sea really does truly call you. Sam, I hope you continue to pursue your wonderful, unique passion with all the love and passion you have for your home, because heaven knows I'm going to need an aquatic veterinarian to consult with when I'm running a zoo one day, because aquaculture stresses me out. Seriously though, your passionate and your caring personality will probably be your most defining characteristics as a doctor, and I can't wait to hear about where they take you. Matthew Luke. Matt, it should come as no surprise what song I picked for you, as it's one we have joked through, laughed at, and sang so many times during our friendship over the past 2 years. I really couldn't be anything else but four Not One Blondes, What's Up? From the first time you showed me the He-Man dubbed music video of this song, which had my sides splitting with laughter, to all the times we sang along to it while setting up the Anatomy Lab TA sessions, this song has been a great representation of our goofy friendship. Yet as I began dissecting the lyrics carefully for the speech, I realized something. This song really does represent you and me. Just change the age from 25 to 29, and it holds true for both of us. 29 years ago, my life is still trying to get up that great big hill of hope for a destination, something we're both pursuing in this dream of ours for veterinary career. And so I cry sometimes when I'm lying in bed, just to get it all out and what's in my head, and I'm feeling a little peculiar. Somewhere to sleep, man. Who else is as much of an intense night owl / insomniac as me? That you will literally message me with the most random thoughts or vent to each other in the morning at 3 o'clock in the morning about the pressures of schools when things have really been building up. And so I wake up in the morning and step outside and I take a deep breath and I scream, what's going on? As we're both night owls, obviously Matt and I don't function well in the morning. And any of the professors that have had a class with us at 8 a.m. could attest to this. There have been so many times where I look over at Matt and we both have this look on each other of exhaustion and confusion of just literally to say, what is going on? Thank God for lecture recordings though. Finally, Matt, we've tried. Oh my God, we've tried. We try all the time in this institution. And we pray. Oh my God, we've prayed. That one day we would get to this moment of revolution. Selena Lewis. Selena, my Texas sister with some Latin flavor. I wanted to capture your energetic soul and elegance and could think of no better singer than Selena. And not that it's because I accidentally spelled your name like that for an entire semester. Her song, Baila Esto Cumbia, really just spoke to me when I was looking for something that fit you. The music in this song is upbeat and happy, just like you. Especially when you smile and light up the room. The lyrics encourage all of those listening to get off their feet, to contribute to the wonderful song through dance, screaming, shouting, or just being silly. In a way that the song encourages living life to the fullest. This is something you always seem to be able to accomplish for yourself. But just like Selena, you try to encourage others to join in as well. You're always so considerate and trying to look out for others. These are things about you that I think will make you a really strong doctor. It takes a strong person to continually inspire hope and strength in others while recognizing those who are in need of a little extra care. Andrew Pellegrini. Andrew, buddy. What can I say? You truly are a lovable bear. Such a bear, in fact, that no other bear could bear to be compared but to your bearness. But the king bear of Chill, the smooth-talking bear Blue from the Jungle Book in his song, The Bare Necessities. Now, some of you might think that this implies that Andrew's a lazy procrastinator. And you might be half correct. Just like Baloo, Andrew would rather spend as much time relaxing and enjoying his free time as possible. What people don't realize about this song is that Blue is actually quite clever. He tends to find the most effective ways of procuring food for his survival, like identifying the best fruits to eat and the best ways to pick them. Similarly, Andrew also found the most efficient way for him to learn what he needed to do for school, and has always been an intelligent force to reckon with. That is, when we can get him to class. Blue, like Andrew, figured out what he needed to survive and enjoy life. But then, he did something amazing with that knowledge. He passed it on to the human cub Mowgli. Andrew is a kind-hearted person, and I've seen him go through hell and back for his friends in semesters above, below, in our semester, and even people outside of our school. He helps them with their personal lives and their schoolwork. He has such a big heart because he'll do anything for others who are struggling. Andrew has the makings of a kind-hearted doctor with ingenuity to tackle the worst problems with the tightest financial constraints and still get the results that are best for everyone else. A skill that will be invaluable as long as he can get to work on side. Seriously, dude, you hibernate like a bear. Jack, Jack, your song came to me while remembering a time that you literally made me laugh so hard that I could barely sit up straight. Jack, your song that you burst out singing with all of your might is Sleepy Odds by Heart Will Go On. Jack here is a well-traveled man who has lived in various parts of Asia and the U.S. in his life and aspires to continue his worldly travels as a veterinarian who consults older practices in impoverished areas, procure supplies they need and the skills they need to become better, cleaner, and safer practices. He also has some interest in aquatic animal medicine and how it pertains to aquaculture and sustainable food sources. Jack has clearly demonstrated that far across the distance and spaces between us, you have come to show you go on. He has done so with his own family in China, who sadly could not be here today, but that would not deter him from pushing forward. Jack just does this. He gets an idea in his head of something he wants to do, and he just finds a way to make it happen. He's a trailblazer, a trait that is valued in the veterinary field. Jack, I will miss hanging out with you because having you around truly is a comfort. When you're here, there's nothing I fear. Because honestly, who else in this class would have the thick enough skin just to cope with our policy of, if something goes wrong, just blame Jack. Jack, remember though, near, far, wherever you are, I believe that heart does go on. Seriously though, Jack, even though you can sometimes be a little quiet and shy around new people, you really are a sweet and funny guy, and you have grown on us in those last 2 years. Just know wherever your travels take you, you'll always have a group of close friends in us that will care about you very, very much. Jonathan Riviera, Perilla. The next person's theme song has no words, which is fine, as he is one of the most taciturn individuals you will meet. Jonathan, your song is main title from Game of Thrones soundtrack. Honestly, what song would be better to exemplify you than the theme of one of your most favorite TV shows, in which you literally own a movie-quality Night Watchman's cloak, which all of us as Game of Thrones fans wish we had it, by the way. The music main title starts abruptly with a chaotic tone, but then settles into a beautiful soft cello solo that creates a perfect flow between the rest of the instruments. I would probably describe your entrance into our class as a little chaotic at first, but you settled in truly and have helped to make us whole. As the song progresses, the other instruments begin to build on the chord note progression, almost as if they're plotting, scheming to take the spotlight from the cello. It is known that this is the Game of Thrones way, but spend any amount of time with Jonathan and you can tell that he is always deep in thought, weighing his options and carefully deciding on what the most beneficial move he can make is. Just before the song's halfway mark, the tone of the piece shifts. As the cello once again takes over, resounding the chord note progression with slow and deliberate vibrato, almost as to make clear that it is what the song is, and it will not bend. This part, like the Night Watch you dress up as, almost speaks to core values of not bending out to outside influences. This is a trait I've seen in you, as you refuse to bend when you know that you are in the right, and you refuse to bow down to those who would otherwise tear you down or try to compromise who you are. The final shift in the song brings about a sort of reminiscence, the reflection of the journey that has been and the potential life still holds. As this adventure comes to an end, your journey here has been full of trials and tribulations, and even had a pretty interesting 8th season twist. But you were able to use your cunning and to overcome it all, forced us to find your place among our group so that you could finally end your journey. Now, if only George R.R. Martin would finish that dang last book. And lastly, it was with deepest pride and greatest pleasure I talk about this final person, and the magnificent song from the writers at Disney, as I proudly present Amber's Remains song, Be our guest. From Beauty and the Beast. I can think of no better song to describe Amber, who is always such a gracious soul and never think twice about offering her time and resources to those in need. She is often such a humble and gracious host to us and always tries to create a welcoming and inclusive environment for everybody, no matter where it is we go or what we do. She has a knack for getting all of us to take our worries and place them off our chest. As a fellow foodie, the two of us have come up with and discovered some truly wonderful dishes during our time on this island. Seriously, who am I going to ask about randomly where the best soups are in the day? In this song, Lumiere alludes to the life of a servant who is not serving, is not whole without a soul to serve. Sorry. And to wait upon. Amber is such a helpful person that I honestly think that if she wasn't actively helping someone in some way, she too would need so much more than dusting, and most days would just lay around the castle, unsure and unfulfilled. In the song, Mrs. Potts serves to inspect all the dishes, silverware, cups, and linens before they go out to the main hall. For some of us, Amber has been the quality control of late, making sure that we all keep up our professional appearances, even when things get a little tough and we feel like giving up and just saying screw it. Amber's inviting aura, creativity, and willingness to experiment and attention to details and standards are the traits I believe will make her into a great doctor. That and the fact that her fiance has some beastly intelligence and is just one semester ahead of us in his veterinary career. Way to snag the ultimate snack, Amber. Now, before I let you guys all go, there is a song that I have always loved since I was in high school called He Was a Good Man by Emerson Drive. It talks about wanting to live a simple enough life filled with enough love and friendship that when all is said and done, the only thing people can focus on is how good of a person you were. Now, I'm not without fault, but the people next to me, with their incredible mixtures of personalities, experiences, and goals, have given me things to work towards to make it to this goal. Whether it be taking time to think rationally before jumping to decision, being more inviting towards others, and even just simply sharing my time and knowledge with others who need it, I can truly say that meeting all of you and going through this adventure with you has made me a better person in the long run, and for that, you have my thanks. Oh, and in case any of you need a reminder of who you are and the things you can draw from each other, you guys will shortly be receiving a Spotify link with a playlist with all the songs mentioned here today, and they are all now posted on our Google Drive as well to share. Thank you guys so much.
Great job, David. That's one of the things that I really will miss. He always puts in a lot of effort, preparation, and thought into his presentations that he does. It's left to me now to bring to close the proceedings for today, and to get a little bit serious because you guys are getting over or out into the clinics, and you need to be prepared. Using what Dr. Byth brought up, so your ask, okay, so your attitude, skills, and knowledge. Note that the first one is all about attitude, okay? And you guys, over the period of time you've been here, you have all shown, as David pointed out, that some of us have gone through adversities, but yet you are here today, which means that you can succeed. So take that positive attitude. When the days are long and you've gone on shift after shift and you've pulled maybe 24 hours, 26 hours, 28 hours, maybe in some cases 36 hours, unfortunately, back to back, just remember, it's the attitude that will get you through it. Okay? Your skills, you've had the opportunity through the tutelage of the faculty here to develop some of your skills. And as you go into clinics, remember your job at clinics is not to be a veterinarian, you're still a student. You are there to further develop your skills. But the way you'll develop those skills is by participation. So always volunteer, don't be afraid. You guys have the foundation. I have the pleasure of meeting alumni and over this year we've had so many alumni come back. And they all say, that they're always a little bit afraid before they get out there, but then they realize that you may have more skills than the students at the schools you go to. Okay, and that's the beauty again of being at a small school. So always have that faith in yourselves that you will succeed. Okay, again, comes back to attitude as well. Knowledge. Okay, again, you've had this opportunity over the last few semesters to develop the knowledge. One of the things that I always taught at school is not always remembering everything. one of the most important things is knowing where to find what you don't know. Okay, so be able to develop that ability to go do that research. You have a case, you know, you need to know the details of that case. Go and find all the information that you can to properly present that case when you have rounds. Okay, put in that extra work, and that will become your habit. You know, we always spoke about developing habits, about trying to get to class early. You know, we succeeded with some, we didn't succeed with all, but getting to work early again is a habit. You know, you develop that habit. And in closing, before we finish, I'd really like to give our faculty who are here with us, some of us, not all of them are here, a round of applause because they helped saw it through. And I really do want to say, you know, a heartfelt thank you and congratulations. We are going to miss you guys. I'm not exaggerating how much you guys contribute just to the life of the school. Okay, you know, some of you, the bright smiles, the jokes, you know, even sometimes when you give trouble, it still, you know, contributes to our daily exercise here at St. Matthew's. So going forward, just remember, we are proud of you. We look forward to continuing your journey for the rest of your life, seeing where you reach, what you do, what you achieve, and we were just happy to have been a small part of that. So congratulations to you and congratulations to your family once again. Slideshow? Yes, no? It's ready? Okay. Alright, so you guys can set up. So we close now, and then there are some refreshments. Please help yourselves with some refreshments, and then circulate and mingle.